Tanner, how's it going?
Lead, how are you doing?
Good. I wanted to take you back to your recruiting process and
Okay.
yeah, going way back.
Right.
What was the takeaways of PJ coming to you and saying re-recruiting you to come to Minnesota? What stood out about that time frame?
I mean, it was a very easy conversation. It was a very easy sell. I think what stood out to me was obviously it was a crazy time period. You know, like I was supposed to leave to go to Kalamazoo that day. For me, it was just like showed a coach that I always knew believed in me and trusted me, and going from the MAC to the Big Ten, wanted me to be a part of that. It was a no-brainer for me, and then obviously we had 8 other guys come over that were committed to Western Michigan with Chris and Big O, John Michael, guys who are we're teammates today and are playing a lot of football for us. So it's pretty cool to see that. But I think the crazy part was it was just. It happened so fast, and it was just a no-brainer for me to, come here. And it's something I'm still grateful for to this day, because my journey could look a whole lot different if it weren't for one thing like that. So I'm grateful to be here, and again, just so thankful that coach decided to give me that call and ask me if I wanted to come along, because for me it was a no-brainer.
He called you the day he got the job?
Correct.
Okay.
So it was.
Going to Kalamazoo you were planning to go that same.
Correct.
Day.
I was going to leave that evening at like 1 or 2 in the morning and be ready to roll for the next day. And it was just, all right, we're going to Minneapolis next week instead. A little change in the plans. So it all worked out. And again, so grateful that it happened. And we talk about it a lot to this day. With Chris and John Michael, Big O, guys like that, like our lives could be totally different. Like, this is pretty cool that we're even able to be playing in the Big Ten, playing at the University of Minnesota.
Sure. What does that say just about the recognition of the talent that was going to Western Michigan, that not only you guys come here, but have success here? Yeah,
absolutely. I think it starts with the kind of people that, one, always fit the culture, right? So it's always looking for the right fit. And you look at those guys, and it was all people who were the right fit for our row the boat culture. And then secondly, it's talk and recruiting. I think coaches talk about like hitting and missing and all that kinds of different stuff. But when you look at that Western Michigan class, there's a lot of guys who wanted to go play for that culture. Not necessarily, it wasn't conferences or whatever or whatnot. It's about the people and about the culture that you're going to play for. And that was, for us, obviously, the main takeaway is we wanted to be a part of the row the boat culture. And that's kind of how it all happened. And what attracted me there in the first place, too, I can, not speaking for everybody else, but I know it was the commitment to something bigger than football, bigger than yourself, that made me and I think other people want to be a part of that.
Had you seen Minneapolis before?
Had not. The first time I got here was when I moved in. First time I was in the state of Minnesota.
What was your first impression?
Drive through the state of Wisconsin for a long time. And then I'm just like, oh, we're in Minnesota? Okay, all right. But I think when you pulled in, I saw the city, it was just like a heart-warming feeling for me, just like, whoa, like, this is real, this is cool. And I think to this day, sometimes when I see the city, it's kind of like surreal to me. And I'm just thankful to be a part of this program and to be able to be a player here at the University of Minnesota, because it's given me a lot of things. And it's been some of the best moments of my entire life.
As a quarterback, I'm sure you want to throw the ball. How are you feeling about 70, 80% runs that you guys have been doing lately?
Hey, it all comes down to execution, and that was very exciting, very fun to see the way our offensive line played, our running backs played, and whatever it takes to win, that's all we want to do. It doesn't matter if it's 80 runs, 80 passes, which necessarily isn't our style, but it's about being a physical team in the run game and in the pass game. And so whenever you get those opportunities, you got to make the most of them. And just seeing the way we're running the ball was just really – that's who we are, and that's what we do. So to be able to see that and see our offensive line play the way they did, our running backs, our receivers on the outside blocking things, because that makes a 2-yard gain turn into 12. That's something I don't think a lot of people see. But yeah, it's physical, and it's really kind of what our identity is all about.
You'll be playing at a stadium in Northwestern that probably won't be full. Is it take a little bit to get pumped up in that situation?
Coach always prepares us for the event at hand. He does an elite job at that, and it's not really about that. I mean, last year we played in front of nobody, and not Northwestern's not that case. They have an elite fan base. They've won a lot of games. They're the Big Ten West champions. 2 out of the last 3 years. So we're not just talking about a one season type of thing. They're an elite program, and so we have a lot of respect for the way they do things. I know in my time being here, I've always respected playing against Northwestern. I really respect their coach and their players. The way that they play is, when you turn on the film, you can see that they're coached very well and that they play very hard. So for us, it always comes to us, and we have to bring our own juice everywhere we go. You can't rely on outside factors, external factors to get you going, and that goes to our leadership. And for us, being able to lead, to just always know how certain guys tick and being able to get the best out of everybody on our team.
What impresses you about Northwestern's defense?
Again, discipline and how hard they play. They know what they're supposed to do. They're rarely in the wrong spot, and they make the plays. They're coached very well. They play really hard. They've got a couple guys that have played a lot of football for them. And again, they make the plays. They're not going to give you much. They're not going to, make mental mistakes, things like that. Kind of the MO of who they are. And they play really hard. And so that's something that we pride ourselves on, is playing hard. So you always got to respect that. And, they're very disciplined, and we just have to be ready to execute and, efficiently execute our roles, whatever the play may be, run, pass, whatever it is. We got to execute because they're not going to give you much in that sense.
PJ said he went for Halloween as Jim McMahon 5 straight years. Did you have a football-themed Halloween costume?
I did most of the time. I think I always just put on a football jersey and some shoulder pads. That was usually my go-to. I think my favorite one was I was Flash. Still wish I could be Flash, man. No, Dash from The Incredibles. The little kid. Yeah, that was the best. Not Flash. Dash. Mix of two worlds there. But yeah, Dash was probably my favorite Halloween costume.
What impressed you with Kai Thomas on Saturday?
Yeah, I think no moment's too big for him, and the physicality that he runs the football with. Every time he gets his hands on the ball, he makes the most of it. It's very similar to other people that you've seen being able to break tackles, and just his yards after contact was crazy too. When you hear that stat, it was just like, that's insane. It's just kind of what he does. He's been able to break tackles, make things happen, and make things happen down the field too, with the explosive runs that he had. But yeah, no moment's too big. He knows what he's doing. He's very smart. He's a very physical blocker in the RPO and the play action game, and then he runs hard. He plays really hard. I love being his teammate, and I love when he's back there with me.
Do you feel like the 3 different styles of running backs kind of help the offense, just given that each player brings a different kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. They all have each individual strengths, but they all do, everything pretty well and at an elite level. But you see the kind of the cuts that Bucky makes, and it's just like, whoa, that's pretty insane. It's very instinct based, things that can't really coach that well. And then you have Bryce, Kai, guys who can make things happen on the outside, run in between the tackles very well. And so can Bucky. They can do everything that our offense asks of them, and then some more, which is exciting to see. But those 3 guys, they love each other. They play really hard for each other. And again, it's exciting to watch the show and see what they can do when they get the ball in their hands.
All set with Tanner?
Cool.
Thanks, guys. Have an elite week.